Oh, what's up? Of course, this is a self-therapeutic and self-improvement process, project, whatever you want to call it. If you want introduction, a summary of what we do here, how we break down the channel into all the subdomains of life, sub-series, analogies, as well as the live stream schedule, the copyright-free music, and all that kind of jazz, all the background. You can check that in the previous live streams for the past 3.5 years strip to January 2021. So you'll find all that there, and without further ado, we can just dive into the content what we have here for today. In the next minute or so, I intend on covering what we want to, what we have in store. We're going to break down the live stream as usual, 14 minutes long into roughly about maybe 3-4 segments as usual. The first segment today, again, as usual, photography. Particularly capturing physical material items with a lot of storytelling, a lot of background. Today has to do with kitchenware, downstairs, a new stove, also just, logistically speaking, how that plays in with the landlord and living here. Also, we have photographs of some depth foods, a lot of depth foods like drinks, some aloe vera, some soybean drinks, some stuff like that, as well as some nutritional and cooking for the breakfast. That's the first portion, maybe up to about 5-6 minutes. After that, actually maybe longer, maybe 8 minutes. So then halfway through the stream, the second portion, we're gonna remove the photographs and we're gonna stand up, and that's much more engaging and more active part of the stream. So I'm gonna stand up, and the room right now, if I just drag the photo down, so you see my hand. So I'm gonna stand up in the room, I'm gonna move around, and we're gonna be very active at that point in the stream. I have to cover some products that I can actually show physically, and the logistics to do with it. So where am I going to move the soap and the business products in terms of the research and cellular nutritional company that I do business in. Okay, and that's that. Some things I missed basically from yesterday's stream. Last but not least, third part of the stream, which we'll get to, is basically the very abstract stuff on the left-hand panel. That's a task list. You can see a lot of text and jargon there that may not be broken down into any sort of understandable format. That's all right, but we're going to run through like relationships, working overtime, philosophy, pragmatics, a lot with health, stuff that I cannot cover, that I cannot show you because they're not objects, they're concepts. So that being said, that's how we're going to break it down. The last few moments, the last minute will be a take-home message. And I should mention quickly before we get started, as usual, a little bit of disclaimer, heads up, guys, that I do cover this project as a real, honest, and genuine way for me to, like I said, improve myself and solve my own insecurities and problems. So I'm not going to be PC. I'm going to be real, raw, and honest. And there'll be some things here that may be a bit negative and maybe relatable to some of the problems that you may be facing. And so I'm not going to shy away from such topics. Okay, so let's begin. The first thing we're going to do is just going to maximize this photograph. I'm going to take a look at the time right now, actually, make sure I get a good gist of how long it took me to get through that kind of brief window. About 3.5 minutes too long. All right, so we have the stove there. I'm going to get rid of the task list for a second. And you can see that this has a, this is a new stove. New stove by the landlord. Her daughter-in-law, I believe. Daughter-in-law, so her son's wife. Okay, so I think over that time that I've been away, in the past 12 hours, maybe 18 hours at work, I had all this kind of stuff here that I wanted to show, but I didn't get the photographs ready. You can see this is a new stove that I've typically taken a bunch of photographs of the stuff that I cook up in the morning using the old stove. It's a white one with I believe it was maybe gaslit or something like that, but this one's clearly electronic. You can see it's flat, kind of black ceramic on top. I'm not sure if it is ceramic, but that's what it is. And that took about a good portion of my time this morning trying to capture this item and just show a bit of a gratitude and appreciation for some new furniture or new kitchen appliances I'm going to be using. Obviously, I use it almost like a table every morning, so this is a very visual aspect of the Ahn Rho project, and it has to do with some basics of living, just kitchenware and how I cook. I have everything on top. You can see, again, here's another panel here. You can see that I put all my cooking utensils on top and the ingredients and stuff like that. So that's something else to mention. Now, of course, I took various angles and just had photography one day in the future I might be able to put this on some sort of review site for a product, and it's a clear Samsung brand. Probably costs like $1,000 or something like that. I don't know. Okay, moving on. So the next thing we have here, a bunch of photographs having to do with depth food. So depth foods mean things that I'm not supposed to really eat or touch. We have that soybean, traditional Chinese soybean drink, dao nai. And we also have dao zheng soy, and we also have that oatmeal at the very bottom, and peanut, and that's mixed in with some nuts, which you see is from Base brands of Base, and that's Mountain Peak. You can get that from No Frills. I believe it costs like $4 or $5. It's a very generic California mix. I think it's something like that. I don't know what you call it. It's got like these sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, peanuts, a little bit of almonds, even fewer cashews because those are more expensive. So with that being said, these are things that obviously are not mine. The oatmeal is mine, but the trail mix and the soybean is not mine. I want to capture the brand, and this is stuff that I just kind of binge ate on. The trail mix, I binge ate on half the package. I need to update that and say that's not something really touched in this class 2 item. Same thing with the soybean drink. That has roughly about what I want to capture the brand, so it's Wing Hing Food. It's supposed to be some Hong. Wing Hing is probably the way it's pronounced in Cantonese, I'm assuming, but Wing Hing food probably sounds so odd saying that in English. Wing Hing food products. Okay, so that's basically the brand of that is something that I've had pretty much most of my life. I wouldn't drink it on very often, but when I did, I always forgot to capture this. For the past 3.5 years, I started the Ahn Rho Project. I've drank this so many times, and I've taken almost like I shouldn't be using it, but I have used it, and I have to record that, but I don't record the brand. And it's stupid of me, because if I ever purchase in the future, I should know where it comes from. So that's that, and moving on. Here's a trail mix. You turn to the back, you can see the nutritional facts. It's something that I guess it's very helpful that it has 3 grams of fiber, and what's not so helpful is that it has so much fat. And I ate, like I said, this 600-gram package, I ate about half of it. That's insane. So 300 grams. I have a good feeling that I'm going to get either some mixture of diarrhea and constipation later on today or tomorrow. The worst case scenario is if I don't manage to go take a shit. Like that'll fuck up my schedule. Every day I have this morning habit routine where I just get to use the washroom every morning. I don't have to think about doing it the rest of the day, and that can really fuck me up. So that's my fault, no one else. Moving on, we have some last batch of photographs. You can see here again some angle shots and some aerial photographs of the stove. And if I take a look up here at the very top, you can see that this has less to do with the stove, and it's a different region. It's kind of like the dining room region of the kitchen. If you head out to the back, there's like some chairs, a table, and they've got these kind of red rose, or I don't know, kind of flowers, or like poppies. That table mat plus the tablecloth plus the table itself, and 4 kind of burgundy chairs. And then on top you can see all these ingredients there, right? If I just move to the side, you can see at the top, where I'm pointing right now, all the stuff that's mine. So it's all just in 2 rows, 2 columns, sorry. All the spices. I have a lot of spices, because I tend to, I'm almost like a biochemist. I love to take all these active ingredients from like curcumin, from turmeric and black pepper and rosemary and thyme and all stuff like that, and cinnamon, and experiment with that. And you have all sorts of meal replacements and ground flax seeds and chia seeds, all that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of like a lot of stuff that I use for my breakfast as well as my dinner, and that's that. So I want to cover this because, most importantly, meanwhile, as I'm covering the stove, which is a new kitchen appliance that I am using as part of the residence, paid through bundled utilities, right? Kind of like, what if you're renting right now, maybe, I don't know, if you guys have a house, you don't have to think about this. But if you're bundling it up, obviously still hydro, utilities. Hell, if you have a house, you still have to think about this. But you're paying out of pocket yourself, right? Through the mortgage. So basically, the internet, so in terms of this, these are appliances that I consider to be class 1 items, because I do, of course, pay the rent, and it's all bundled with it. But even still, I want to just show some appreciation, gratitude for things that I do get to use on a daily basis that come from my landlord and from the seniors who are, they are the landlords themselves, but very wholesome and caring individuals. and they have things together. Okay, moving on. So that's all the photographs for today. I don't want to go any further. I think there is something I missed. Right, there is this thing here, and I missed this TNT brand aloe vera, but that's about it. And again, another class 2 item, 16 grams of sugar compared to the original one, which is 36 grams, 20 grams more. And it is the same, in fact, serving portion of 375 milliliters. Per 375 milliliters, it's 36 versus 16 grams of sugar. That's fucking insane. And I was surprised that my guardians, they typically don't pay attention to these kind of things, but I think he's starting to take note of the things that I advise him to do, to take a look at the goddamn nutritional facts. 50% less sugar, it will do you a lot of good for your heart health, your cardiovascular system, for your just heart and stroke and risk of preventing these diseases. So with that being said, all right, get rid of these photographs and finally we can move around the stream. Took longer than I would have liked. So let's stand up. That's region D1 right there. So we have missed some things. And unfortunately, I didn't want to do this today, but I missed, first of all, that we have this box here again. If you check out my previous live stream on Twitch and YouTube, Facebook, you will see that this crate yesterday was filled with business products, and I have moved the majority of those business products. The bags I folded up, the vitamins and nutrition and you know, the Hepa Plus from the business products that I own. I moved up there into C1, C2, right? So D1 is practically empty with exception of this box. The invoices are all filed away. The learning materials, the magazine. For the athletes, like that's all done too. Scan it all, put it on drive, put it on a backup drive, and that's all the paperwork's over there in the corner in region A. So what did we miss? This box, this crate here, I forgot. I had to scan this as well. So again, class 4 item is a gift from my business partner, and it's Nutrimil Dutch chocolate. So it has the nutritional facts and packaging here. We also have, so I had to scan that, and then on the side here we have more business products I took to work. Yesterday I didn't actually eat anything. I didn't make any dinner, so I just had to bring this kind of like protein kind of shake thing. It's a meal replacement, and you know, it was very easy for me to just take a couple of scoops and then down it with some water, and then with that I had enough protein to basically take my supplements, which include antioxidants and vitamins and stuff like that. All right, so the last thing here, I guess I should move away from D1 here, is this, you know, kind of business product soap. So this is something I'm just going to give to my clients. So I'm going to put this up here, and probably in the next maybe, I don't know, 38 hours I'll manage to hit them up and then just pass it away. So this region is all clear. I'm going to basically put this box up there in region C1, C2. Same thing with this food here. Actually, this food item, I'm going to move back downstairs to the kitchen, and so that will pretty much wrap up, and then you will see that it's pretty much clean, and that's the whole idea, so that we can get groceries, and that's logistical stuff. So all the logistical affairs are finished. Let's talk about the last minute. We have not much time left, but the task list. Okay, so I can't get through a lot of these things, but one thing I noticed is, most importantly, if you take a look at the title, this is a project upgrade, and basically I have this idea that maybe I should start doing the Ahn Rho Project as if, you know, it will add some variety, but basically some live streams are going to be basically a line, almost like I'm coding my behavior into my live streams. If you understand what that means, you probably don't, but the best way for you to understand is when I do it. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be interesting, so that's something to look forward to. In addition to that, we have all this kind of stuff down here which breaks it down into priority and also timeline of how I came to this conclusion that I should do this, from being pragmatic to finding out the why, the reasons why I started the Ahn Rho Project. So that being said, I don't have much time left. So the take-home message, as usual, is what? So take care of your health, take care of your finances, take care of yourself. Make sure you become a strong, disciplined, responsible individual, because the best thing you can do for the people you care for is to make sure you can stand up on your own 2 feet, not to preach. Just hoping that you share this understanding with me already. With that being said, I hope to see a better version of you as well as myself in the next live stream tomorrow morning. This is Ahn Rho signing out. Thank you for tuning in. Ciao.